San Diego Padres vs Washington Nationals. San Diego had an odd of -110 in their last game, and they defeated the Cleveland Guardians 2-1. Michael King went 7 innings and allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and struck out 6 in a winning effort. Kyle Higashioka had a 2-run double in the top of the second inning. Washington was a small -115 favorite in their previous game, and they defeated the Cincinnati Reds 5-2. Jake Irvin went 7 innings and allowed 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 walks, and struck out 7 batters. James Wood hit a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th to give the Nats the win. DJ Herz is expected to start for the Nationals. He has a record of 1-3 with a 5.17 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, and a 41/9 KBB ratio in 7 starts this season. Opposing batters are hitting .271 against Herz this season. The Padres have been good on offense this season. They are in the top 10 or around the top 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBI, strikeouts, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. San Diego will hit Herz well, and the Padres will win this contest. Take San Diego on the money line. The Padres have been good on offense this season. They are in the top 10 or around the top 10 in the league in runs, hits, home runs, RBIs, strikeouts, batting average, OBP, SLG, and OPS. Randy Vasquez is expected to start for the Padres. On the season, Vasquez has a 4.57 ERA, 1.56 WHIP, and a 43/15 KBB ratio. Opposing batters are hitting .324 against Vasquez this season. DJ Herz is the probable pitcher for the Nationals. He has a 5.17 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, and a 41/9 KB ratio in 7 starts this season. Opposing batters are hitting .271 against Herz this season. Both starting pitchers will struggle and the over will hit. Take the over, 8.5 runs. New York Mets vs New York Yankees. The Mets roar into the second half, hoping to continue their unexpected push toward a playoff spot. The Mets have lost 3 of their last 5 games, but are 2 games over .500 and very much alive for a wild-card spot in the National League. Over the weekend, the Mets lost to the lowly Marlins, including a 4-2 loss on Sunday. The Mets were done in by the long ball on Sunday, as the Marlins scored all 4 of their runs on a pair of home runs to sink the Mets and take a 2-1 lead in the series. On Monday night in the series finale, SS Francisco Lindor homered twice to lead the Mets to a 6-4 win and salvage a split of their 4-game series. The New York Yankees are still in the hunt for the AL East Division crown, but have not been the dominant team they were over the first 2.5 months of the season. The Yankees are just 8-18 in their last 26 games, including losing 2 of the first 3 games of their 4-game set with the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend. The Yankees took the opener 6-1 but lost games 2 and 3 by a combined score of 1-5-5. On Monday afternoon against the Rays, Juan Soto homered twice and Carlos Rodon went 7 innings and allowed just 1 run and 2 hits, while striking out 10 in a 9-1 Yankees win. The Mets swept the 2 games from the Yankees earlier this month at home. Quintana didn't make a start in the series, but the lefty should fare well against a Yankees lineup that lacks big-time right-handed bats beyond Aaron Judge. The Mets have won 3 of Quintana's last 5 starts. The Yankees starter Gil has looked very mortal after dominating the better part of the first half. The Yankees have lost 4 of Gil's last 5 starts, and Gil's era has jumped from under 2.00 to over 3.00 in the last 3 weeks. The Yankees have lost 3 of 5 games heading into Monday afternoon's series finale with the Rays at Yankee Stadium. Their troubles will continue on Tuesday night. Take the Mets with the money line. The Bombers will go with Rey Luis Gil in the opener against the Mets. Gil has a record of 105 on the season with an ERA of 3.17 and a WHIP of 1.08. He has allowed just 62 hits in 102.1 innings of work, while striking out 118 and walking 49 batters. After a scintillating start to the season, Gil has struggled over the latter half of the first half. In his last outing, Gil did rebound to pick up a victory in a 6-1 win over the Orioles. He allowed 5 hits in 6 innings of work while giving up just 1 run and striking out 6 batters. Gil was hit hard in his 1 start against the Mets this season. He allowed 4 hits and 5 runs in 4.1 innings of work while walking 4 in a 1-2 Yankees loss. Take the over. Tampa Bay Rays vs Toronto Blue Jays. It hasn't been a very flashy season for Tampa Bay, but they've hung around and played .500 baseball. Following Monday's 9-1 loss to the Yankees, the Rays dropped to 5-0-5-0. They're now 10.5 games off of the Orioles' first-place pace in the AL East. As for the wild card standings, Tampa's sitting 5.0 games off of the final spot. Personally, I'm leaning towards counting the Rays out of the race. They're known for always doing more with less, but without Shane McClanahan elbow, Ryan Pepiot knee, and Jeffrey Springs elbow, as well as having a bullpen that's ranked 26th in ERA 4.42, this might be too tall of a mountain to climb. Also, it's worth noting that leadoff man Yandy Diaz just went on the restricted list with a personal matter. The odds makers echo my thoughts, pricing Tampa at $550 to make the postseason minus 800 to miss. Meanwhile, the vibes aren't much better in Toronto, as the last-place Blue Jays continue to flounder. They've posted a 45-54 record through the first 99 games, which puts them 15.0 games out of first place in the AL East. Just to make the postseason, Toronto's priced at $2,500 minus 20,000 to miss. They're currently 9.5 games out of the wild card. Toronto did manage a win on Sunday against Detroit, avoiding the Brooms at home. George Springer stole the show in the 5-4 victory, launching a couple of bombs in a 3-4 day at the dish. He drove in 3 of the 5 runs for the Jays. As for the pitching, Kevin Gausman looked solid, picking up the win while allowing 4 earned runs over 6.2 innings. One of the first questions I ask myself when starting my analysis on a game is this a vulnerable favorite? If yes, I typically look to build a case on the underdog and try to decide if it's worth a shot with plus money. I can't think of too many reasons why we should lay a massive minus 162 moneyline price with the Blue Jays. They're just 45-54 on the year and 7-10 over their last 17 games. These guys are not playing good baseball, so I think it's worth a flyer on the scrappy Rays in this spot. The two sides split the opening series of the year 2-2, and the Rays followed that up by winning 2 of 3 against the Jays in mid-May. So things are relatively even, which is why I ultimately disagree with such a large moneyline price. Sure, Jose Barrios has been decent this year with a 4.01 ERA, but he can often be vulnerable. I'll dive into his recent form below, but it looks like he's worth a fade in this spot. Let's back the Rays on Tuesday night. Take Tampa Bay Rays moneyline. Let's pick it up right where we left off, and that's with Jose Barrios. The right-hander has struggled mightily in his last 3 outings, posting an 8.40 ERA and 1.73 WHIP over 15.0 innings pitched. He will welcome in a Tampa offense that has been surprisingly good in the last 2 weeks. Over the last 14 days, the Rays are ranked 8th in RC 121 and 10th in WOBA .3333. Finally, it's worth mentioning that these are 2 of the worst bullpens in the MLB. Tampa's ranked 26th in relief ERA 4.42 and 20th in WHIP 1.30, while Toronto's 29th 4.87 and 24th 1.33 in those respective categories. There should be opportunities for offense all throughout this game, so I'll jump on the over 8.5 runs. Cincinnati Reds vs Atlanta Braves. Despite the Game 1 win for Cincinnati, this is still a rivalry dominated by the Braves, who have posted a 7-3 record in their past 10 head-to-head meetings, with the Braves coming off 2 straight series sweeps in Atlanta. On top of that, the Braves have a 1-3-5 record when Chris Sale starts this season, with the veteran lefty being on the hook for just 3 losses, so expect the Braves offense to bounce back in this one to even the series at 1. Take Atlanta minus 1.5 runs. All season long, it's been the pitching staff that has found success for both of these teams, and after just 12 hits and 5 runs in Game 1 of this series, expect more of the same in this one with Chris Sale and his 2.70 ERA taking the mound. For the Reds, the under may be just 3-7 in their past 10 overall games, but they have averaged just 3.5 runs per game in their past 5 played away from home, and for the Braves, the under sits at 6-4 in their past 10, with the offense averaging just 3.5 runs per game in that time, despite scoring 5 or more in 5 of those games. Take the under 9 runs.